So, a buen camino, cheers.
Now that's some good coffee right there.
Welcome back to our channel. As you know, I'm Lainey, and that's Shawn, and we're a days-based fan. But today, we have something really, really special for you, our viewers. We are here with Efrén from Walk with Efrén, and a fellow YouTuber, fellow pilgrim, all around, great guy. He's been named the Cuban heartthrob.
I don't know about that.
So if you don't know him, make sure you check out his channel. And we are here to chat with him because he is on the Camino de La Plata right now, the Via de La Plata, walking through our town of Ourense.
We're here in Ourense. It's raining.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your channel, introduce yourself to our viewers.
Well, hi guys. My name is Efrén Gonzalez. I'm a travel adventure vlogger. As you guys know, I've done many caminos, not just here in Spain, but all over Europe, South America, Africa, Asia. I just got back from Japan.
Yeah.
And I have my channel where I share all my crazy adventures. I started it about 7 years ago when I did my first Camino, the Camino Francés. And now I'm doing the Via de la Plata from Sevilla to Santiago. You know, I got caught in a storm in the mountains. That's why I'm here for a few days. Yeah, this is like the tail end. You know, there's no snow here. I'm on my way to Santiago, and then I'm gonna make a right turn, do the Camino Frances in reverse, all the way to Rome.
Wow.
Just a little walk.
Yeah, just a little walk. How long do you think that's going to take?
About 6 months, I think. It's like 4,000 kilometers. But of course, I have to do it in 2 different trips because I can only be here for 3 months at a time. I have to get out for 3 and then come back. So I'm doing it now in the springtime, as you can see, and I'll be back in the fall for more rain.
So you've been to so many places, walked all over many continents, and the question is, do you have any favorite places that have stood out to you?
Well, I really like the old medieval towns, and if it has a wall, like a protected wall, it's just it just transports me to a different era. So I really like Pamplona on the Camino Frances for that. Lugo on the Primitivo has a great medieval wall. In Italy, when I did the Via Francigena, you know, San Gimignano, San Miniato, all those little villages that are at the top of a mountain that looks like a castle, that is so different from what we have in Miami, you know? Those are the ones that I really like. And Rome, of course, you know. I got nothing against Santiago. I love Santiago, but walking to the Vatican and then you're done, what do? Well, you're in Rome.
Right.
So,
you eat pizza.
yeah, all the weight that you lose in France, you gain it back in Italy.
Is there a mode of transit that you love? Like the donkey families in France. And
Right.
they're like, what an interesting Camino. It's like,
Oh
what's
my
something
God,
that...
I got so many stories, good and bad, you know? That to choose one, I don't know. But of course, walking is the best way to experience it, even though I had a great time on the bicycle because, you know, those little boring sections that you may have, because it all can be sunshines and butterflies, okay?
Yeah.
So on a bicycle, you just go right through it and everything is going by faster, of course. But if you've been riding bicycles all your life, doing the Camino it's just a great experience doing it that way. You know, I told you guys already that to me, the Via Podiensis, the first 12 days from Le Puy-en-Velay to Conques is one of the best that I've done of any Caminos. I just love the architecture there, the landscape. You're leaving a volcano, that beautiful cathedral. The starting point is like mass, you know, the doors open up and you kind of like,
Well, the floor opens
the
up.
floor opens up and you go walk out and you see the whole town and you're already on the Camino. There's no better way to start a Camino than that way. There's no finish line like that, you know? I wish that when you get to Santiago, the doors will be open, you go in, but there's just too many people, of course. But that section, I really loved it. And now, coming back from Japan, I had a great time over there. I just love everything about that, you know, pilgrimage, from the food, the way people treat you, all the rituals, you know, the landscape, on and on and on, the calligraphy, everything was just incredible. I'm gonna do laundry after this anyway. So.
Yeah. People, if you've seen his channel, you know that his first Camino was 2017, right?
Right.
Okay. And so you've done 7,000 since then. which is great.
That seems like a lifetime away,
Yeah.
dude. I mean,
Well, that's the most density for Caminos, I think, of anyone I've seen. Like that's like
I'm
several
committed.
a year. Yeah.
I'm committed. Yeah. Well, I started out just doing one when I did my first series, not knowing if people were gonna like it or not. I was just kind of like experimenting, with this great personality. I'm like, my accent, my Cuban accent. So I did it. Thank God people loved it, because if they would have trashed me, I wouldn't have continued on. And then I decided, let's give it a try. I have that personality that when I like to do something, I go all in. And this is kind of like a marriage of what I used to do for a living, as I worked in TV for 20 years, and I would do my little side adventures on my 2-week vacations that I would get. And then I had the opportunity to make the two my job, which is what I've been trying to do for the last few years, doing as many Caminos as my body will allow me. And then when I can't walk anymore, then I'll sit on the couch and be like, I got a story for you.
That's a question, but like, what would be a piece of advice that you would give to someone who's thinking of doing their first Camino?
I mean, my first one, I had no clue of what was in store for me. Like, I had just lost my job. I was unemployed for the first time in 16 years. So I wanted to do something different. As life is, everything lined up, and somehow somebody told me about the Camino, and I go, all right, I'll go do it. I speak Spanish. I'll get to see the north of Spain. And I didn't even see the movie The Way. I didn't know about it. Didn't know there were Facebook groups about the Camino. Maybe back then there weren't that many. There weren't that many videos on YouTube, but I saw everything that I could just to get an idea of what was in store for me. So it depends. It's up to you. Are you the kind of person that you want to plan it in detail all the way through, or you just want to go with the wind? Now, sadly, there are so many pilgrims doing the Camino that if you don't have a plan, you're going to go through, it would be a different Camino.
It's tough.
Good and bad. I mean, I've had it both ways, I've done the Camino where I have slept on the floor on my inflatable pad with a storm and a lunar eclipse going on in a Mexican restaurant in the middle of France. Yeah, that crazy.
That sentence just kept getting...
Yeah. No, I was sleeping there like that. I'm going, I don't believe this. This is happening. So I done it from that to all the way to staying in hotels and using the luggage transfer while still carrying all my gear that weighs like 15 pounds. There's no right way to, I'm not trying to be like a medieval pilgrim. Because a medieval pilgrim will take a taxi if you bring it down, for sure. I mean, they did it the way that they could do it at their time.
Right.
They probably had to stop along the way and get a job to feed themselves. If they got a ride on a donkey or a horse, they would probably do it, and then they had to return, which we don't do it. I'm about to do it, but you have.
Yeah, the retorno, man.
Exactly. So I would just, keep an open mind. Things will work out. The Camino always provides. You're gonna meet a lot of crazy people like you that are in the same wavelength.
You're going to meet people like us when you accidentally walk through our town.
Exactly. You're probably going to meet one of us along the way.
Yeah.
And you're going to have the best time of your life, because it changed my life. I'm sure it changed your lives. A few years ago, I wouldn't have thought that I was going to, be without a job in TV, and I was going to be walking all over the world, walking the earth and vlogging, My career was going this way, and I decided, let's start again, but in YouTube now.
Yeah.
And I'm having a great time, so.
Awesome. We're going to call this video The Weather in Ourense, starring Efrén.
Oh, yeah. Now we got, the sun is out.
The sun is back.
So, Efrén, why are you doing the retorno? That's like the hardest Camino. And when you told us about that the other day, it kind of blew my mind.
Okay.
So I want to know what's wrong with you.
I have many reasons why. I'm always constantly changing. When I do a Camino, I want to do it in a different way. I've done the Camino Frances already like 4 or 5 times. So the first time I walked, I've done it on a bicycle. I've done it with a trolley. I've done sections. I drove with the 3D camera backwards. And then now I'm like, what else can I do, I'm running out of ideas. I've done a section on horseback, so I may do an entire Camino on horseback one day. So I was here in Spain. I had planned to do the Via La Plata to Santiago and then take a flight to Arles in France and do the Chemin d'Arles. And I thought that would be a good idea, just do those 2 Caminos. But for a few years now, I've been wanting to go from Rome to Santiago since I have already walked from Canterbury to Rome. So I'm kind of trying to connect all three cities. I was gonna do it first on bicycle, then I'm like, I'll do it by section. So somehow one day I just woke up and I go, I gotta do the Frances in reverse. And that way, I can go to Santiago, do it in reverse, see the Camino in a different way that we're not used to seeing it. We're used to seeing it in this direction. Now I'm gonna see it the other way. Gonna be walking towards the sunrises. I won't get to walk with other people, but I will be surrounded by pilgrims at all times. So that's good and bad, depending on how you like to do the Camino. I also feel like since I'm doing it in reverse, I may have the whole morning and the whole afternoon where there's nobody on the Camino or very few pilgrims. And then it's just that middle bubble where I had to say Buen Camino 1,000 times. And no, I'm not lost. I know Santiago is away. I'm going to Rome, okay?
Do you have any pieces of gear that you would recommend to any of your fellow pilgrims?
Well, when I talk about gear, I have to split it in two because I have like my pilgrim gear and then I have my vlogging kit. And they kind of weigh about the same. So that's why that whole 10% of your weight rule, that's only if it's your first Camino. The more Caminos you do, your body gets used to walking, you develop your legs, your tendons, everything starts to work in harmony. You don't get blisters. You become a pro,
You're a machine.
Exactly, la máquina. So the gear, I've used my gear until it falls off my body. So if you look at my series and you see me using the same t-shirt, it's for a reason.
What about this t-shirt?
Oh.
This is just a little plug,
Yeah.
But, I use the same gear and I make little tweaks here and there. I usually use like 3 sets of clothes, 3 underwear, 3 shirts.
3.
Just 3 so that I'm constantly washing. On days like this is when I use a backup. But when we have a whole week of rain, that's when, you get screwed. I love my Ultras Olympus 5 because they have that extra cushion. They have the wide toe box where you can just spread your fingers, no friction, half a size bigger, so you're not like losing nails.
I said toe fingers on video once, and that's like my new thing.
Slow zoom in on
Toe
just
fingers.
these creepy toe fingers. This is the thumbnail.
Those are trail runners.
Yeah.
When I started the Camino, I had like mountain footwear because I used to do mountain climbing expeditions and I paid dearly for that. So, but the shoes, it's up to you, whatever works for you. Just make sure that you try it at home and it's not like, here's the first time I'm putting my shoes in the Camino, because you're not gonna have a great time.
Even if they're the right shoes. you're gonna have a
Exactly.
bad
No,
time.
you need to warm up. I'm constantly walking, whether I'm here in the Camino or I'm at home. Of course, at home. It's like every other day. I do 14 kilometers in a golf course by my house.
wow.
No backpack,
Wow.
just walk because, I can't stop. And then when I'm getting ready to walk, like a month before, I start doing it more often.
Okay.
And then like the 2 weeks before, I start adding my backpack and adding all the gear that I'm going to be carrying. And then the week before I leave, I stop. I rest for a week before I start walking. Yeah.
It's actually really good training advice.
Yeah. It's a secret. I don't tell anybody.
Oh, you just told us.
Oh,
Oh, no.
how many subscribers you got?
Like 9.
So like I said, I'm always changing things. I got an umbrella. I tried it out. I loved it. Not only does it keep the rain off your face, because I also have a poncho, but when it's sunny, it gives you that shade that if you're walking here in the summer, you're gonna get baked. This is not my natural color. This is more like it. Okay, but when you walk for like 3 to 6 months a year, you get the farmer's tan. So the pilgrim tan.
The pilgrim tan, exactly.
So the umbrella, now I have a hat with a mask on. It's not that I'm getting too popular. I don't want people to recognize me, but it helped me here with the cold, the wind, and all that. I changed my backpack for the first time because I knew I was gonna carry more gear, of course, because when I'm home, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. That doesn't weigh much. And when I'm here, I'm like, why did I bring this? That's That's the roller coaster that I always go through. I have the Osprey Atmos 50 now, which weighs more than the Exos 48 that I usually use, but it has extra padding. It's meant to carry a heavier load. And I have all my gear hanging around me. I look like I have an exoskeleton. You know, I have like my main pouch here with my DSLR, my mirrorless camera, and a 70 to 200 millimeter lens because I love the telephoto. Then I have a pouch here with my drone and my controller, and on the other one I have like my charging station, ABC, always be charging.
We always say ABC, always be Caminoing.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm vlogging. I need to have my gear so I can just grab it, take a shot, put it back in, and continue walking. Since I don't really take breaks, like I don't sit at a cafe for an hour. My breaks is just, my breaks are like when I'm walking, I see something interesting, I stop, I get the camera, I shoot, and then I continue. And if I'm filming between an hour and 3 hours of video, that's 3 hours of me standing still without counting. Take out the camera, get the shot, exposure, okay, recording, stop, putting everything away, and walk. So I have to do both. I have to juggle that where I'm in pilgrim, and I'm also here filming the whole experience.
And it looks great. You do a great job.
Thank you.
So make sure you check out his videos if you haven't, because they're beautiful.
She said it.
We're so stoked you came through Ourense and said hi. It could have been awkward, but it was really fun. Is it awkward now? Did I make it awkward?
We can talk about the Camino as long as you want. You know, that's my life. I really don't think about anything else.
Yeah. So you're hitting the road tomorrow. When this video comes out, where do you? It's gonna come out in a week or two. Where are you gonna be? What should people do to follow you? How can they watch more Walking with Efrén?
I think next week I'll probably be in the stretch between Puerto Marina and Sarria, just breaking through that wall of pilgrims, and breathe. Ready to climb to Cebreiro backwards, which is going to be interesting.
Oh man, that's gonna be so cool.
So no, I'm really looking forward to it because I know the Camino like the back of my hand. I know every single town along the way, and I know everything this way, and now I'm facing the opposite way.
You're gonna be like, where am I?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
The arrows go the wrong way.
Well,
I don't follow arrows.
The blazes are the other way.
I don't
too.
follow arrows. I got my GPS tracks, which you can download in the link. No, in my video.
We can put it in.
All right, pilgrims, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope you learned something new and that you're following and you're subscribed to Walk with Efrén. And we hope you all have a very buen camino. Any final thoughts?
Good morning, pilgrims.
Good morning, pilgrims. I was going to say good morning, pilgrims, and it's not morning because I'm drinking beer.
Wait, is that good morning for you?